Guys, this is such a fun story. I was sitting there sad because my veneer patient no-showed me, which I had for the afternoon. And, I was in between some other patients, and this homeless guy walks in here, and he has no teeth on the bottom. He's got these circumferential kind of moat-style decay around his teeth, as you can see here, all the way around, kind of root caries and all that kind of stuff. And, it just kind of happened to be serendipity because I had an opening in my schedule. He wandered in. And so normally the way I would tackle these types of cases is in the past, direct resins all the way around those teeth and probably some type of partial to replace that anterior segment as a candidate class 4. But instead, what I decided to do is crowns on those teeth. So as you'll see here, I'm scanning the preoperative condition with, in this case, it's the ELF, and I'm anticipating the need for like a distal extension, removable partial denture, but I'm going to remove that anterior space and turn that Kennedy class 4 mod 2 into a Kennedy class 1 situation with bilateral distal extensions, but with an anterior bridge there, because his cuspids are strong. There's no mobility. Look at the way this thing self-corrects scanning errors. It's insane. It has an AI system that corrects as it goes. And you'll see here, like, you might be thinking that this is, not the most accurate of preoperative scans, but it's insanely accurate. I'll show you what I mean. But anyway, he has these circumferential, very difficult to restore decay around all those teeth. So I went ahead and scanned his bite, and you could see the decay there in that little preview image. It's insane on that cuspid there. And what a benefit it is to be able to print directly the same day the patient comes in crowns instead of trying to do resins on all these teeth. So I scanned his bite using the preoperative condition because I felt his vertical was good. And then I deleted the preoperative teeth from the model, and it's just easy to do. You just kind of click a few spots and kind of delete it. I will say this: if you're going to delete more than you need to, I kind of maybe cut it a little bit too close to the original tooth location. It's just better to have a clean zone around the stitched in scan, as you can see here. So I did the preps. Now these are just kind of like super fast preps, 'cause I didn't have a lot of time here. So I think that I just spent about 25 minutes on these preps in total, including the decay removal and core buildups. And so they're not the world's most insta-worthy preps. I was considering path of draw for all 3 teeth to be coincident, because I am going to do a fixed prosthetic tying everything together. And if you could see, the edentulous ridge in the anterior has a massive amount of bone loss, and so I'm going to have to do some soft tissue around the bridge and make it cleansable, and so that's a whole different design element that we'll talk about in a minute. But here I am removing decay all the way around these teeth, and then I'm going to go ahead and get isolation. These are epinephrine impregnated cotton pellets with aluminum chloride, and I'll probably just do some quick isolation here. Normally I would do Brinkner B4 clamps and rubber dam isolate, but I'm just really moving fast today. I'm going to go ahead and fine tune those preps really quick after I do the cores, and I'm having to lean some preps due to the path of draw cross arch so that I could get everything super nice. And I always turn the water off and slow the speed down to about 4,000 RPMs and just kind of do some smoothing. Aluminum chloride there, one little void in the core, smoothing that up. I'm using a bite registration to make a custom compression cap. I'm going to squirt expanding paste in there, seat the bite reg back down, and it's going to all expand into the sulcus. It's also going to stop any bleeding, and it's going to make the margins visible. So I'm going to stitch the scan into the pre-op. As you can see here, the software just kind of aligns it all together so that I don't have to try to recapture the bite with my preps. And that's about it, guys. Very easy to do. And then we're going to go ahead and get to Exocad design. So in Exocad design, I made a flex partial denture, Kennedy class 1, distal extensions with circumferential clasp. I did an anterior bridge prosthetic from canine to premolar with soft tissue, and I'll show you how we made it cleansable here in a minute. Those are my preps with the path of draw from the occlusal view. And the tissue, if you look underneath, we were able to make it super cleansable. I'll show you that here in a second, hopefully. Let's see here, guys. You can look at the occlusion there against this denture. Everything's hitting equally. And I got to tell you, the delivery was like 5 seconds. Everything dropped in. No adjustments were needed to the bite, to the fit, to the clasps, to the partial. It all just went in extremely smooth. Okay, so this is the kind of the hardest part of the whole thing, is doing the digital design. And I would say this, if you don't have designers in your office that are able to handle this, you should get them trained up to be able to do stuff like this, because it's really not that hard, and if you know kind of how to do it. So there's my preps looking down on the partial, all designed at the same time, with everything in place where the partial fits around my newly designed bridge there. And I'm going to paint that tissue. I'm going to print it monolithic out of Onyx Tough 2.0. And there's the underside surface of the bridge. And you can see it's perfectly convex. There's no concavities. It's extremely smooth and extremely easy for him to clean. Floss threaders could fit in those distal embrasures. Here we are using the Duo kit. The Flex RPD is in the wrong orientation there. That did come back to bite me when I was trying to finish these. It should be tissue surface down, not pocket surface down. The AI will do that all the time on you, so you just have to flip it, but I didn't catch it. So this is the way it printed on the Duo kit here. We got my bridge, we got my denture teeth, printed out of Onyx Tough A1, and then we have the Flex partial denture. So here I am just finishing these things. I'm just snipping the supports with some flush cutters. And I'm going to go ahead and use a rotary instrument soft pad to kind of get rid of those supports bumps without destroying my anatomy and destroying the surfaces. So that was super fast. Obviously this is sped up, but that was like literally about 10-15 seconds to do all that. And now I'm going to go ahead and paint the gingiva. I'm trying out a new system here, which is just 2 colors. So there's this dark pink base color that you put on, and then you put a gingival margin color on top of that. So it's just 2 steps, and it's flowable and kind of easy to use. So after you do that base color, you're going to go ahead and cure it, and then you're going to work in some margin color. It's similar to Annex Dent, but I think maybe just a little bit easier to use. Hopefully less expensive when it comes out. So here's the margin color. They only have 2 colors as of this time to try to keep it easy. I do wish that they would have, I'm kind of a diva. I would like 10 different colors to do stuff with, but most people don't care about all that. They just want like 1 color. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish the teeth. I'm putting some cervical brown on his, just to make it look a little bit more like natural teeth on the lower instead of artificial teeth, because some translucency on the incisal edge here, that's like some translucent gray, and some white on the very, very, very incisal edge. Then I'm painting it and covering it with a glaze. In this case, I'm using also a glaze that's unreleased on the market, and I'm gonna go ahead and cure that. And then while that's curing, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my partial denture. I'm gonna remove the supports from the sockets, but keep them everywhere else. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put Flex partial denture material in the pockets and tack cure. I candy coat the clasps and everything that I can, because it'll come out super shiny and smooth. And just a super thin coating on the pink there with the excess resin that gushed out of the pockets. And we're going to go ahead and drop that into the curing unit. And so it's going to go ahead and cure and everything. I'm going to pop off those supports and give it a little polish really fast. And let's see how everything fits. So this is the bridge going in. It literally drops right in. No adjustments needed to the fit. Everything's beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and seat it here, and I'm going to use floss threaders and get underneath the bridge here and clean it all up. And I'm also going to go in between 27, 28, similar fashion, cure that side, get everything down, snap my partial denture in, put the top denture in place and have them close down. Check the occlusion, and everything is beautiful. And he was, I'm going to tell you, he was not expecting to have fixed teeth there in the anterior. He was in heaven. So look, that thing just fits perfectly. It snaps in. The bite is totally perfect. There's no adjustments needed. Clasps fit good. Bridge fits good. Everything is in perfect occlusion. And you know, that's what it's all about, doing digital workflows, not having to adjust things. And to think that we did all this in right about 2 hours is pretty cool, considering 1 hour of that was printing. So anyway, guys, I just thought I'd inspire you with a quick little case. Definitely not what I would say Insta-worthy, but just a fast and dirty look at some dentistry that I did